everybody. Welcome to this episode of Marked. Today, we have our sweet friend Debbie Guidry here, and she's going to tell us her story of how the Lord spoke to her during a time of transition. So, Debbie, tell me about your flower arranging call the Lord put on your life.
Okay. Well, it was January of 2021, and I started praying about maybe taking my retirement during that year. So, in preparation for retirement, you always think about, okay, what am I going to do to keep me busy? I had been working as an accountant for almost 50 years.
Yeah, so you're changing your whole life, and it's kind of unknown and a little scary and intimidating.
Exactly.
I can see that.
Exactly. So during prayer time, I started asking the Lord, I really want to serve, do something of service and ministry, during my retirement, but I was unsure about what to do because, again, I'd been an accountant. I really didn't think I had any kind of creative ability, but I wanted to do something creative. So I started thinking about, okay, well, I can't sing. I don't know how to paint. I can't draw. I can't play a musical instrument, but there has to be something creative I can do because I wanted to get away from accounting. I asked the Lord, I told him, I said, please don't make me keep books. I don't want to keep books. Please don't make me keep books.
You were ready for a change.
Yes. So during that prayer time over several weeks, I felt like the Lord put on my heart to learn how to make flower arrangements. And, I love flowers. And he said also that the ministry involved with flower arranging could be that you could learn how to make these arrangements and you could minister to people in nursing homes, those people who don't get many visitors because they're lonely. Mm-hmm. And he said, you've experienced loneliness in your life. You've been single many years, and so you know what that feels like. So in the way I've ministered to you and your loneliness, that you can bring flower arrangements to people in nursing homes who don't get many visitors, and that would be something that would minister not only to them, would be a blessing to you too. So I continued to pray about that, still having doubts about whether I could do it, but I was planning on it, thinking about it, and was getting excited about it. But so the next month was February of that 2021 in the Austin area. If you guys remember, a big winter storm came.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually on Valentine's Day, February 14th. And so there was snow on the ground. It was like less than 20 degrees outside. And I was sitting...
ice and everything.
And people were encouraged to stay home because the roads were dangerous. And so I'm sitting in my kitchen on Valentine's Day and my doorbell rings. And I think, who in the world is at my door? It's an ice storm outside. And so I went to the door and there was a lady standing out there, and she had this big, beautiful flower arrangement. And it was freezing outside, so I opened the door and I invited her in, and she gave me the arrangement, and it was beautiful. It was from my daughter for Valentine's Day. And I was going on and on about how pretty this arrangement was and how I had received a lot of flower arrangements over my lifetime, but this one was extra special, beautiful. So I just, started talking with this lady, and we just kind of made a connection. Yeah. And I was telling her my story about wanting to retire and learn how to make flower arrangements because I wanted to bring them to people in nursing homes. And so she goes, well, we walked into my kitchen area and we started chatting. She just so happens that this florist, they actually have classes on flower arranging. I went, oh, wow, this is really a divine appointment, considering, the weather outside and it being on a Sunday. Valentine's Day was on a Sunday that year. So she and I started chatting, and sure enough, she had been recently retired, and she had been a teacher at a school there in Austin, and I retired from working as the business manager at the school in Cedar Park. So anyway, she encouraged me to go to this website of this florist and to sign up for the class, which was once a month on a Thursday night. So after she left, I did that. And I was still nervous about it, not knowing whether I was going to be able to do it, but I felt like, this was really something from the Lord, since He had gave me...
He kind of got your attention there.
Yeah, because He had given me the idea of learning how to do flower arranging, and then this lady showing up in the middle of a winter storm. I just felt like it was a divine appointment. So I went into the class and again, still had a little bit of fear and doubt about whether I could do it or not. So this particular florist was in Austin, and there were like 8 or 9 ladies in this particular room. And so the woman who owns the shop, her name is Kim, she said, before I start giving you lessons on how to make this arrangement, and she has the arrangement already prepared in advance, and then she tells you what each flower is called and where to put it and how long or short to cut it and things like that. She says, before I start that, she said, always like to give my story. So she said,
we love stories.
and her story was, again, just a confirmation for me, because she said, before I owned this shop, she said, I was a financial analyst for 22
That
years.
sounds familiar.
Wow. When she said that, I just looked up to the ceiling and thanking the Lord, because I know that particular her story attached to my story. And she went on to say how she had been a financial analyst for 22 years, but she had to quit her job because her mom had gotten ill. And so for about a period of 6 months to a year, she took care of her mom, but then her mom eventually passed away. So after that period of time, she said, I knew I needed to go back to work, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So she said, I just started thinking about it, and, driving down the street, I would see different kinds of businesses and think about, is that something I want to do? Because I knew I wanted to own my own business. She said, I saw like a printer. I said, no, I don't think so. Then I saw like a mechanic shop. No, I don't think so. She said, then I saw a florist. And she said, you know what? I really think I could do that and would enjoy it. So she says, here I am after 5 years, and my business is profitable and I enjoy what I do. So then she started telling us about the different flowers that we were going to arrange that day. So I raised my hand and I said, Kim, I have a question. And she said, what is it? I said, how did you go from being a financial analyst for 22 years to being a floral designer and owning your own shop? What kind of training did you have? She goes, oh, none. I just taught myself. Wow. And right then I knew that I could do this. I knew that I could do this. I didn't want to own a flower shop. I just wanted to learn how to make flowers, arrange them in a beautiful way so that I could minister to people in nursing homes.
And that's incredible.
All of those different steps, I believe, were orchestrated by the Lord to help me, give me, the confidence I needed to be able to learn this, but also to be able to bless other people.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about how it affected your soul. I know you mentioned loneliness and that pain, and often the Lord works through our pain. And I love that because there's so much redemption in knowing Jesus, right? And that's really what we want to share with others and encourage them today. So tell me a little bit about that pain that got your attention when the Lord ministered to that place of loneliness in your life that made you feel compelled to minister to others.
Well, again, I have been single many years, over 25 years. And so I felt like, when you experience something in your life and then the Lord ministers to you, He's encouraging you to share that ministry that you receive from Him with others so that you can help them and give them hope. It's all about hope. And so the first year that I retired in 21, a friend of mine and I were going to a nursing home down near South Austin. So she was, we actually had a meeting, like a service, like a church service, where we'd have prayers and worship, and she would give a little sermon for about 20 minutes. And then I always made 2 flower arrangements. And I got with asked the activities director there at the home, who are your residents who don't get many visitors? And so I would always go into those rooms of those people, and I offered the flower arrangement, and I would ask them if I could pray for them. And every single person said, yes, please. Wow. So I could see the smile on their faces, and a lot of times during the prayer, they would cry and weep. So I know the Lord was moving in their hearts to let them know that they are important and they're not forgotten.
That's right.
They're not
forgotten. So good. What a sweet story that you would feel the love of God and want to give that away, and that you would pay attention and hear. And so it's two pieces. He was taking care of you in your retirement, saying, I have plans for you. We're not done yet. But I also love that it was because your heart to minister to others that he was saying, and we're going to give this away. And so how do you feel like that the series is called Mark? So it's changed you somehow. When I ask you, would you be on this and share something? This is what came to mind.
Right.
So how has this changed you? How did it affect your soul?
It give me a lot of joy and a lot of peace knowing that I could go into these places where people sometimes feel insignificant, especially those people who don't have family and friends visiting them, that just for them to know somebody cares. And when you pray for them and you let them, they just feel the love of God. They feel the presence of the Lord in the prayer. Because many of them start crying and weeping. And most recently, I started going to a local nursing home here in Cedar Park, and have actually established a relationship with one of their residents who doesn't get many visitors. So almost every Monday, my friend and I go to this particular nursing home. We bring flowers, we bring books, we bring puzzles and things like that she really enjoys. And so every single time we go, though, there's something in my heart that stirs about being able to show people that God really cares about them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? What a mighty God we serve.
Yes.
I love that. You said divine appointment, and most people in our culture understand what that means. But if someone out there doesn't understand what that means, it's the series of events, the circumstances, the unexpected. The lady showing up in the winter storm on a Sunday and having a bouquet of flowers for a florist that teaches and trains how to do that. And there's a series of events that unfolded that spoke to your heart. That's what we mean by that the Lord is pursuing us and he loves us and he has so much for us if we just pay attention. Right. If we tune in, it's like tuning into the radio. He's always listening, like the radio waves are always there. Sometimes we just have to tune in and keep asking. And sometimes it's a process of pushing through and asking again and again, like you did. And then he showed up again and again and made it clear with exclamation points that this is what's happening. And love that his deep love for you and that he pursued you in a place of vulnerability and transition, but also so that could translate to love others in that same vulnerability and in the places of unknown and depths of loneliness. Yes. So thank you, Debbie, so much for sharing your story. We love having you here today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.